Hi everyone, Teresa Aker here from Success Diaries with Teresa Aker. It's my pleasure today to introduce you to Evan Allen. How you doing, Evan?
Good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I'm glad you're here. So, Evan, Evan is a CEO, writer, director, producer of Six Wheels from Hell, a toy maker, and props master. We have lots to talk about, Evan. That's why I had you on today.
Thank you again.
Yeah, so let's talk about the beginning, how you got here. How
Oh,
did you get into showbiz?
um, it was a while ago. I went into, I was going to go to one of those big fancy film schools, and my uncle actually convinced me not to. He convinced me to go to this little film school on a little island, that was 100% hands-on, and they taught you how to make a film in 6 days. So I went to the Gulf Island Film and Television School, which it was a camp kind of for like youth, but adults too. And I was, I think the first time I went there I was like 16. Eventually, like when I left there, I was 19, I think. I don't know, it's been a while. But so I ended up doing a bunch of courses over the summertime, of 4 different courses. And I eventually saw Dark Angel television show with Jessica Alba, a James
Sure.
Cameron TV show, filming on the side of the road in Vancouver. And I'm like, oh man, I really want to work on this show. So I put together this amazing resume with like graphics and like boxes of like this and that. My picture was on it, so it stood out from everybody else's,
Sure.
uh, instead of just like a white resume with words on it. And in that time, I had made a bunch of my own short films and stuff too. So I had a bit of on-set experience with my own films. And then I got a call to come work as a production assistant on Dark Angel. And so it was like dream come true. I had no idea what a production assistant was, but I'm like, I will be there. But it's I had one more course to do, and then when I moved over to Vancouver to my aunt's, then they're like, "Oh, we don't have any space for you," and I was like, "No." But then about 2 weeks went by, and then I just phoned them up again, and I said, Can I volunteer a day?" And then, hung up, and then 5 minutes later, the phone rang again, and they're like, "Yeah, come on down." And an ALM, an assistant location manager named John Dreyer, had me come down there, and then all of a sudden, I was on set, and things were blowing up, and stunt doubles are getting thrown through windshields, and cars are on fire everywhere. Motorbikes are doing wheelies down the streets of Vancouver. And I was like, wow, this is the coolest thing ever. My first day, I was so terrible. I was so bad. I had like gloves with no fingers. I was so not prepared for it. And
Oh, wow.
every time they called me to the radio, it took me forever to get to the right channel. And by the time I got there, they weren't there. Um, but they believed in me, and then I learned so much from John Dreyer. And then so I was in locations for about 5 years, and then eventually I was like, okay, I want to do something more than this. So I made friends with people in other departments and in props. So Ron McCall was a prop master, and once again I volunteered 2 weeks on a show, and he brought me on as the on-set props guy.
Wow.
So did volunteered on that show for 2 weeks. And then he was usually working with a prop master named Liz. So they were working on another movie together. They brought me on that, but then he had to leave to another show. So I ended up taking over for him. And I ended up working for Liz for a long time. And then all of a sudden, like within a year or two, I was a prop master. Like I just kept moving up and kept moving up. And it was the best thing I ever did was to volunteer for those 2 different occasions. And that best thing I ever did. And then after the prop master, that was up in Vancouver, Canada. I did a lot of that. Eventually, I moved down to Las Vegas. Didn't do a lot of film down there. But then eventually, me and my mother bought the same film school that I went to.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, and that was amazing. And then we ran that for about 5 years. It was a lot of work because it was, on this little island. You had to go to the mainland to get all your supplies and food, and then ferry it back and forth. And then there were snowstorms and this and that. It was crazy. And you're in the middle of a rainforest too, right? It was like a
Oh,
camp.
yeah.
Yeah, so it was a very cool camp situation. We had school groups would show up for a week, and it would be like their field trip, but they would stay for a whole week, and
Sure.
because we had dorms and everything, and Man, we had a lot of fun there. That film school probably in its lifetime made 2,500 films or so. And unfortunately, though, COVID came along,
Yeah,
and so we had no students for 2 years and we had to shut down. So that was very unfortunate, but it's low income housing now. But I wish it would have continued as a film school because we actually just handed the keys back to the previous owner, hoping they would keep it going, but it didn't. And COVID kind of ruined a few
sure,
things. But then
sure.
right after COVID, um, we ended up doing Six Wheels from Hell.
You ended up doing,
Six Wheels from Hell
oh yes, of course.
yeah.
Of course. So talk to us about what did you do in that one?
Well, that one was actually I had a Facebook friend called Mark Baca, a stunt guy out in LA. We never met before or anything, but he hit me up one day and he's like, "Hey, I know you like karaoke," because he sees my Facebook all the time. And I used to sing in bands in Canada. I still do some music projects, but I love karaoke. So
Oh,
I
okay.
was always at a little place called Dino's in Vegas singing karaoke. So he's like, "Hey, let's hang out. Let's go to karaoke. Let's talk about some movie stuff." I'm like, "All right." So we end up going there. And the dude can sing Guns N' Roses like perfectly. Like that's
Oh,
a
is
hard
that
thing to
right?
do. I can sing anything but Guns N' Roses. Like it's
Oh,
just so hard to hit those notes, but he can do it. So me and Mark had a great time at Dino's, and we started talking about a movie. And this was when things were kind of just shutting down out for
oh,
COVID. So
okay.
things were like still kind of open. And then the PUA, we had to apply for PUA because when I wasn't doing my film school stuff in Canada, that was like seasonal. I was driving for Lyft, and then Vegas shut down. There was no work whatsoever. So I had to apply for the PUA loan to pay my bills and things like that. And but it took so long to get that first check that it was a lump sum. So I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna pay my bills, pay my rent, put food on the table for my son. And then it's a big chunk of money here. It's not enough to make a movie, but it's at least enough to start shooting a movie.
Wow.
So
Okay.
after that meeting with Mark, I started writing Six Wheels from Hell, loosely based on kind of him and the character that, and 2 weeks later we were shooting.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and then um, we had some local actors. They were more like Cirque du Soleil actors, but they were our four main teenagers in the movie, and
Sure.
they were cast by a casting director out in Vegas. And then, but then a lot of the other people that we brought along were just my karaoke buddies. But turns out half of them, did drama in high school or acting
Yeah,
classes
yeah,
and things
sure.
like that. And some of them never been on set in their life, but they did such an amazing job. And then my friend Brandon Peterson was introduced to me by my friend Brad, and he ended up investing like 11,000 into the movie.
Oh, no.
And then as the PUA checks would come in, I would put a little bit more on the movie and a little bit every week that
Sure,
the check
sure.
came in. And yeah, and we had a lot of amazing volunteers out there that came out too. They were so bored, they had no job to go to.
Oh, yeah, of
And
course.
so they were just, they loved coming on set, and so amazing. And Brenda Ocha Heaney, I have a hard time saying her last name every time, but she came out and volunteered, did all the makeup and stuff for that movie and did such a great job. And Dustin Robinson from Quantum Art Media, they filmed it for us and they did the post and everything for that. Man, and then Mark drove out because at that point he was transitioning from being in LA, and then he moved out to Texas. So he drove over. That was interesting because his truck broke down just before he got to Vegas, or no, just after he got into Vegas. And then me and him were out, and then it broke down, and so he had to abandon his truck for months. So it was a whole thing, and we got it out and helped him get it out of there and back to Texas eventually. But
Isn't it the journey though is sometimes
oh
more
yeah,
fun in the long run, even though of course you don't
yeah.
want it to happen, but as you're laughing here, you're thinking the journey. I wondered if we could circle back a little bit, Evan.
Yeah.
So now a lot of people are trying to get into the movie industry. You're doing independent films, you're doing all kinds of wonderful, wonderful work. And you've got a great community. I've met some of the people there, okay, in your community, and just fantastic. What I look at is a community of people supporting each other. And what you told me is loud and clear. When you need other people to bond together, they're there for you. Would
Yeah.
that be pretty true, right?
Oh, absolutely. Like, I mean, I loved working on all the big Hollywood stuff in Canada, like iRobot and Fantastic Four and also Chronicles of Riddick, all sorts of cool movies and stuff, right? But in, in Hollywood, you gotta like, or Hollywood North, I guess, you have to stay in your lane, kind of do your job, and that's about it. But when it comes to the independent film community, I've met so many people that are just like, okay, I'm acting in these three scenes, but I'm gonna stay all day and help you out, and I'll be back tomorrow. And do you need help? Cooking the meal today? I'll do something like that. And but yeah, but then we also do like 100 different jobs. Like Six Wheels from Hell, I was cooking,
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
acting, I was a first AD, I was so many different jobs, and but my actors made it so easy for me on that movie. Because once I got up, I just had to point the camera, give a little bit of direction, and the actors just took over. They were just so good. Like I was just like blown away by their performance in the movie. And yeah, and even the ones that have never really been on camera before, they did such an amazing job.
That's great. And the talent is amazing, isn't it? And that does help
Yeah.
you for
Oh
sure.
yeah.
Now, and I'm up in Canada. I think you know that. And so a lot is filmed in Vancouver, in Toronto, and actually I'm east of Toronto. A
Okay.
lot of films were here, actually right in Oshawa, where I am. And what I find fascinating, and you said that the big films that you did in behind, it's fabulous work. There's a lot of work out there, isn't there?
Yeah. Yep. I was just talking to a first AD in Vancouver last night, actually. My buddy Dave out there. Um, Yeah, he's been working nonstop. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been in Vegas well, I just moved to Orlando about a year ago, but I was in Vegas for 17 years or so. And so I kind of left the industry a while ago, but every once in a while I would still go back up to Canada for 3 or 4 months and I would just like make a few phone calls and I was working again as a prop master. Like I had
Yeah.
gaps, like not working for a couple of years on a movie up there and in Vancouver I only ever sent out 2 resumes in my whole career and probably I've been doing this since 1999
That's
and
great.
oh it was so amazing up there. And Dave said it's been a little slow right now, but he's always working. But
But you know what? And as everything, it has kind of an up and down, right? But
yeah,
mostly
I
you've got
guess.
the ups in the movie industry. And I think even you mentioned COVID, even during that time, people wanted to watch. I mean, all the streaming companies that came on, just like amazing. So you're able to be in those areas where perhaps you weren't able to as easily before. Would that make sense? Or was it always pretty good for you guys?
Um, well, I guess the streaming has really opened the door for
Yeah.
independent filmmakers. Because before that we would all just have to rely on solely the film festivals and then maybe put your stuff on DVD and hope some people buy it. But now it's kind of a double-edged sword, though. It's kind of like with music too. It's opened the door for so many filmmakers to get their films in front of so many people. But of course, you know, what you get paid goes way down.
Well, yeah, right.
But they've also opened the door. It's kind of like music, how you can stream a million times and get paid $8 kind of thing, right?
Exactly. Now, well, tell me
But
tell the audience, if you would, Evan, how so you get funding from people who invest in your movies,
yep.
right? And then the movies, now you got to pay your actors and you do all of that. So is it kind of just keep flowing for you guys? The people who invest then can go ahead and invest in other things that you have. And what is it? How can we help you? How can we get people that maybe are interested in investing in some of your movies?
Well, right now, we are working on a new movie called The Toy Maker. So that one is we're doing the crowdfunding route this time. The last one we funded ourselves. Which a lot of the time, if you're going to do an Indiegogo, you have to go out and make your own movie first, because no one's going to trust you to be able to complete a movie if you haven't done it already.
Sure.
So that was a big part of Six Wheels from Hell, was making a movie, getting it out there. It's got worldwide distribution, Blu-ray, DVD. It's all over the world, bunch of different streaming services in Canada and USA, 60 countries, I think. But
Congratulations.
thank you. So now people will trust you to be able to invest in you in an Indiegogo. So this one, we've just crossed 21,000 in funding. Technically, the campaign is over, but it's now in demand, so it actually keeps going. So as long as you meet your goal, so we put a goal of 15,000 on this one, and so we passed that within the days. We did a 60-day campaign. Some people do 30. We did 60 just to be safe. And some days are great. So you're talking to people.
Sure.
Some days you don't, 3 days without making a dime, right? And then it just fluctuates. And like
Sure.
the last day of the campaign, we actually put $4,000 came in, which was absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And so, when I brought Nicole Butler on, I know
Yeah.
you've had her on your show.
She's great.
Like she actually did the red carpet interviews for Six Wheels from Hell years ago. So I've known her for a long time. And then I went on her Vegas Views shows. Oh, there's my son.
That's
Yeah,
okay. He's allowed.
yeah, went on the Vegas Views show that she had. And she interviewed me. At one point, she actually interviewed my son too, because he's got his own little YouTube channel and he was doing a bunch of cool movies. Like he's got some Jurassic
Oh,
Park
we'd love to
movies.
interview him here too. That would be awesome.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, Hunter.
He's welcome to come on, Evan.
You want to come over here for a second? Just say hi.
If he wants to come, if he's okay with
Yeah.
that.
And tell them about your YouTube channel. All right, he's slowly
If he's shy, that's okay for now.
He might come over.
But maybe
Yeah.
he'll come another time.
Yeah.
We'd love to talk to him if he's up to it. That'd be great.
All right, he's slowly making his way over here. There he
Oh,
is.
wonderful.
He's hamming it up a little bit.
That's
8-year-old
okay.
8-year-old
Hunter,
boy.
we'd
Hey, Hunter, come on. Here.
I'm gonna fall.
Where is he? There you go. Come on.
You see me?
No, you got to stand up.
he's got Hunter, we want to see you, but we can't with the back screen.
Oh, you have to come closer. Okay. All right. Fine.
There we go. Hi,
Okay.
Hunter.
Now you
How
can't
are
see you.
you?
I
I think it's supposed to only focus on one person.
There we
So
go.
if I leave,
Yeah.
like you
Hunter, you're wonderful. We can't wait to see all your good works.
Say, what is your YouTube channel called?
what's your
What is your YouTube channel?
What's
Called
it?
Hunter's Movies. That's what it's called.
Hunter's movies.
my
Okay.
mouth hurts from smiling so much.
All righty.
Hunter, we'll make sure we put it up for everyone to go there, okay?
All righty.
How old is Hunter, Evan?
He's 8. He's
He's 8.
a little performing for the camera right now.
Yeah, but that's okay. That's what 8-year-olds do. But boy, he's creative already. Good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you teach him, I'm sure. So he's got lots of help, and wow, what a future he could have too.
Yeah, and he just started hockey too, so he's pretty happy about that. And been trying to get that going for a long time. So
Oh, awesome. Oh, good for him.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pulling for him. And
Yeah.
so now, can we ask Evan, what are you, so I know you have the toy maker, you had different ones. What are you working on right now that we can talk to you about?
It's a toy maker. That's
So
the
just
one.
that one. Okay.
Just that one
Okay.
right now.
So you have to
Uh,
concentrate when you're doing these. There's a trailer out for it, right? I'm pretty sure there is.
Yeah, it's more like an Indiegogo concept trailer.
Okay.
And then it talks about perks and things like that that you can pick up. And we have some pretty incredible perks that you won't find on any others. We have stunt driving with Mark Baca. He's same guy who's starred in Six Wheels from Hell. As a producer, he's actually an Emmy Award winner now for the NFL Network for an episode that he did for them. And then, but he's a stunt coordinator and an actor too. So he is offering stunt classes as perks. So there's the basic
Ooh.
one stunt where you can just, learn fire burns and high
Sure.
falls and, where they pull you on the wire, all sorts of cool things like that. And then he has stunt driving, precision driving, that kind of stuff too.
Oh,
So
that's
people,
fantastic.
yeah, people have been picking up those perks now too. And then they'll be able to do a stunt in our movie, which is really, really cool. We've got other stunts like you can follow me, or sorry, other perks like you can um, shadow me for the day and then actually direct a scene. I don't think anybody else has anything like that. And then, of course, all your regular perks and, posters and we have soundtracks. I'm gonna make a record actually with some music on it too. Uh, Man, we have it's got to be at least 50 perks on there. There's so many, and I keep adding them. Get your signed copy of the script, digital copies of the movie. Um, oh man,
That's amazing.
pulling my
So
mind right now. There's so many on there. Yeah.
yeah, no, that's okay because now, so investors will be able to reach out. We're going to
Mhm.
have all your information in the show notes. And if
Yeah.
somebody wants to reach out, well, certainly they'll be able to get a hold of you, Evan, because I'm all about promoting you guys. I know you have great talent. Your community's amazing. And however I can support you, I'm happy to do that. Now, Evan, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Where do you see your future going? Can we ask you that?
Yeah, I have written 14 feature films now, just ready to go.
Fantastic.
So I have to keep making movies. And now, we're starting to build a little film community. Um, for the first time, I was actually able to, I was helping my mom pay all her bills
Sure.
for a couple years while she was waiting for for her job to start in Nevada. And then her job did start, and it's a well-paying job for her. Um, so she's helping me right now
Nice.
because I had to basically kind of quit my day job of just doing Lyft to just campaign, and it's working. Um, Obviously, we're not like the Mahal level yet. They are so amazing.
Yet, you're getting there.
Yeah, such a good friends with Michael and Sunny, and I feel so bad for losing Michael.
Yeah.
I made him a nice tribute. It was
Oh,
watched 10,000 times in 3 days. That's how much people loved the Mahals and Michael and stuff. So,
I'm so sorry for your loss.
yeah, so he was a bit of a mentor for me when it came to crowdfunding. So he always gave me advice, and whenever I reached out to him, and went in on a couple of his Indiegogo Zoom meetings and things like that. So everything about crowdfunding I learned from him. And so this is the first time though that we've done a crowdfunding. And I'm very, very happy that we've broken 21,000, and it's gonna just keep going. We did 6 Wheels from Hell for 30,000, so we're gonna try to get at least to there or keep going, right? And yeah, so and then there's some other investors that are reaching out as well, that won't be a part of the Indiegogo campaign. And it's standard that if they, every 1,000, it's like half a point off the back end. So like 0.5%
Sure.
of every 1,000 and stuff like that too. So there's some investors that are starting to reach out, that are have nothing to do with the Indiegogo campaign as well. So that's really gonna help. And it's just a matter of like not giving up, because some days can be like devastating.
Yeah.
Like put all your time and effort and you don't raise any money, right? But you also have to understand that a lot of the backers are just people that want to create, but they've got day jobs too, and
Yeah.
so they're waiting on paychecks, and they just want to help and be part of something creative. And so, and then once you get to set, you just got to treat everybody equally. And because I'm not an ego guy. I cannot stand the ego. So I'm, occasionally you might run into it, but I'm very lucky to have all the people that have contributed to
Yeah.
be. I've talked with them quite a bit, chatting back and forth, and everyone's just been so cool so far. Yeah. So
Oh, that's fantastic.
yeah.
Evan, honestly, I know you're going to do great things. What I wanted, and you are doing wonderful things already. What I wanted to know, I have another question. As you're launching this down the road, would you like to come back and do another episode with me as you're doing the movies and maybe promote them a little bit too?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd be honored to have you back, Evan. You're hardworking, and honestly, I'm just so impressed with you and your whole community is just amazing. So I wanted to reach out to you and talk to you, and Nicole connected us, so that was great. And down the road, I would certainly love to have you back. And in the meantime, if anyone wants to invest with you, we can make sure they get to you, okay?
All right. Thank you so much.
Evan, thank you. Honestly, that's great. So everyone, this is Evan Allen. Evan, do you have a YouTube channel yourself? I know we were talking about hunters.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Cybrid Entertainment. So Cybrid. Cybrid, it's like human animal hybrids, but cybrids. Yeah, Cybrid Entertainment is
Okay.
our YouTube. A toy maker has a Facebook page, so people can follow there. Six Wheels from Hell has a Facebook page. Cybrid Entertainment has a Facebook page as well. I mostly do Facebook for everything. You know, I have Instagram accounts and things like that,
Sure, sure.
but mostly Facebook for everything. And
Okay. And I'll
Evan
make sure you,
Allen, yeah, you can follow Evan Allen on Facebook too. That's me.
yeah, and I'll make sure you send me all those links too. So we'll have it together for the notes so that everyone can reach out. And of course, if they can't reach you right away, I'm happy to get their information out to you. So that's fantastic. Thank you, Evan. I truly appreciate our time today. It was my pleasure to meet you. And I know your projects are just going to keep going and you're doing great things. So thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much, Teresa.
My pleasure. So everyone, this is Evan Allen. Go over to all his social media, to his YouTube channel, subscribe there. I'll make sure all of the information that Evan talked about is here. And to everyone else, this is Teresa Aker from Success Diaries with Teresa Aker. Do subscribe to my channel. I truly appreciate that. I hope you're all having a great day, and I look forward to talking to you all very soon. Bye-bye now.